Lakewood High School advanced two wrestlers into the Region 6 Championship, Jaquan Jacquez and Anthony Turner. I would like to honor one of the accomplishments this year's track team. Junior Rob Hill finished 10th in the high jump in the prestigious meet of champions for the state of Jersey during the winter track and field season. His accomplishments speak for themselves. Rob started a successful campaign from the beginning, taking a second in the Oceanic Championship in the high jump and a strong performance in the 400-meter run. He followed this up with a second place finish in the high jump at the short conference championship. Rob continued his success at the state meets, finishing third in the South Jersey Group 2 Championships, then fourth at the State Group 2 Championship. Rob continued to improve and finished the season 10th in the state of New Jersey in the high jump with his best performance to date, a 6'2" lead. Join me in congratulating Rob Hill with a round of applause.
Next item on the agenda are the minutes for February 11th. Do I have a motion to accept them?
Motion.
Second. Friedman motion. Second by Mr. Friedman.
Yes.
Mr. Jacquez.
Yes.
Mr. Weinberger.
Yes.
Mrs. Lackey.
Yes.
Joe Schwartz has to abstain. Committee reports.
The Finance Committee met earlier today, and we're reviewing next year's budget. And since this year will hopefully not be over budget, and we're working on it.
Correspondence, I have one letter. Letter from Fred Rush, President of the NAACP. The National Association, Mrs. Winters, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, is the oldest civil rights organization in the United States. With respect to educational advocacy, the NAACP strives to ensure that all students have access to an equal and high-quality public education by eliminating education-related racial and ethnic disparities in our public schools. In this regard, the Ocean County Lakewood branch remains committed to make certain the Lakewood Board of Education is representative of this community. Our executive board is aware that the Lakewood Board of Education Board has taken no action to fill a current vacancy with a qualified and eligible candidate, Mr. Tracy Tiff. I write to inquire the cause of the board's inaction in this regard. The NAACP considers access to a high-quality education a fundamental and civil right and considers the comprehensive and substantive accountability systems to maintain equitable opportunities and high outcomes, a major principle worth of advocacy. Accordingly, I write to request a meeting with you and your colleagues to develop a collaborative plan to increase the number of African American representatives on the Lakewood Board of Education. Please make this letter and your reply a part of the agenda and a record of the board's next public meeting. Thank you for your continued support of the mission of the NAACP. Sincerely, Fred Rush, President. This is State Government. Recognition of the public on the agenda items.
I need to make a motion for that, Council.
Yeah, do you want to combine the two? Yes. Recognition.
I'd like to make a motion to combine the two recognitions of the public since we only have one additional speaker at the second part of the meeting. I think we should just combine it as one. So I'd like to make a motion that as we're running a public session, anybody that has any comments, whether it's agenda related or otherwise, you can speak at this meeting. That is my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, this time I'd like to open up to the public. Dr. Rush is the first on the list.
Good evening again.
I'm sorry, before you start, I just want to remind you, as per board policy, there is a 3-minute time limit for public portion. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for reading the letter from the Lakewood Ocean County NAACP. A very, very serious letter written. They're serious about those actions. Notice that you had 4 African Americans competing for a seat on the board tonight. Okay, either one of those people, and I do agree that Tracy Chisholm would be the best person to do that. Just need to make that clear. I noticed that last week they talked about Dr. Zeus and in the Reading Across America, that program is very important. As I hear, and I can't confirm it, but not one Board of Education member made it to any of the schools for that appearance. And I find it highly disrespectful, and we should have more concern about the students of Lakewood to show for such an event. We understand that it's very, very difficult to have an election and have people who don't represent you on the board. We understand the electoral process, and we're not here to change that. We can't change that. That's what it is. However, when you have the opportunity to select someone through by names that you're going to do tonight, think about that and think about who you may place on this Board of Education. The other thing I'd like to say that CROP testing, our kids are taking the test. I'm hoping they're doing quite well. But the Board of Education should consider taking a stand. I am not against testing. I'm against high-stakes testing. And if any of you have taken that exam, I took the 4th grade math exam. And the questions are very, very ambiguous. I suggest that you go on and take the exam yourself and see how difficult it is. Teachers need to be trained, staff need to be trained, your entire evaluation method. So if you were to take the exam, you will see what our kids are going through, not just in New Jersey, but in the 38 states that's administered the CROP exam. Out of respect for what you guys did, you posted a public notice within the newspapers, went out and people had an opportunity to decide if they wanted to be a board member. According to that notice, the deadline was March 4th. Now, how is it that you disregard a public notice that goes to the newspaper that say when people should apply? I think you should consider that if you guys are taking a vote tonight to just allow anybody to come up because you're a resident. I think that's misrepresenting your positions on the board. You made a decision, you put the public notice in time, and I really wish you had stuck with that public notice with anybody. If you do things like this, the next time something could happen, you just change your mind. Board of Education should not operate in that vein. And lastly, in terms of the teacher of the year, very, very important position, been around since 1952. Okay? I applaud the superintendent and the Board of Education for recognizing our teachers who do an outstanding job. Let me just say this and I'll close. Ebony Baker finished college a while ago. Lakewood, you guys were not there. Lakewood, she applied for a job in Lakewood Public Schools. Apparently she was not good enough. I was superintendent in Red Bank. I hired her. The second and third year she was there, she became teacher of the year. So I'm glad that finally we are recognizing someone who was doing an outstanding job, and as she said, she does not do it alone. She has a staff who's with her. So I'm glad that that happened. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
One last thing, and I'll go. The overcrowdedness at the middle school is a tremendous problem. I was there, I do visit the schools to see what's happening with our neighbor kids. It is worse than, and I know that the superintendent's aware, I know that the principal is aware, I know you guys are aware, but something has to be done. I'd like to know what is the plan to make sure that the middle school becomes less overcrowded. Thank you.
Thank you. Through the chair. Next up is Senator.
Dr. Rush.
Yes.
To your first point about this, to your first point, I remember visiting the high school, actually looking at the problems, and I fully agree with you that the transition to the world problems makes it very difficult to understand what the problem was. Before you get to the solving the problem, it is difficult for the kids to understand what is needed from them. So when they learn the math skills, they also need to learn how to transfer to translate the word problems into mathematical problems, and then to solve it obviously takes a long time. And as you said, I fully agree with you. A lot of the Common Core material, the questions is ambiguous. It could be interpreted in many different ways, not only in fourth grade, but in many in older grades. Obviously, I think the intent behind it, the rationale is that the kids should develop analytical skills and so forth. So the intention is good, but I fully agree with you that I was looking at some of these problems, and it really takes time to sink in and understand what they want from me.
Mr. Attorney, let's move it along, please.
All right, just to the second point, from what I understand, the board's website did not have the deadline. The board's website did not have the deadline, so that was...
I have a copy of the public.
Right, but
Through the chair, can you just...
This is not a give and take, so please let's
Can you
move
just
on.
let the public speak, because that's what the public, this is all about.
Thank you.
It's not about
We're here to hear
here.
the public.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Rush, next up, the Senate Attorney, please.
I'm good.
All right, Mr. Fred Rush.
Good evening, I'm Fred Rush. Thanks for reading that in. I hope you react to it. We know that it's not often easy to serve on a board, but I will tell you this. The Board of Education, out of all the other boards that we have, whether it be Shade Tree Commission, the Housing Authority, doesn't matter what it is. This is the only board that you have to run for the office, which implies that you really want it. And you have a passion for doing what is needed to be done. I've seen other people on appointed boards that had a little bit more passion than what I've seen here.
That's right.
I won't belabor the point anymore. You guys know, you know what your jobs are. But first of all, let me congratulate all of the teachers of the year. And I hope that all of you guys pay very attention to it, because let me tell you, we're in a failing district. We've been in a failing district for a long time. And I'm not going to say whose fault it is, but I will tell you something. If we don't respect and keep our teachers, we're going to start to lose them.
That's right.
And they'll go to other districts and get paid more money and be treated with a little bit more respect.
That's right.
And thank God for our principals. You know, I thought that was amazing to see them standing there, 2, 3 of them that I've known and worked with. You know, that's a good thing. So we do have some good news sometimes, but now to some of the bad news. It's the education of our children. And like I told you before, Ms. Winters, your job's not easy. In fact, I look up there once again. You were the only woman at the table. And after that, you would have had people have to follow your direction. And I think that, not completely certain, but in your leading, the board's supposed to learn and take from some of the advice that she gives you. She's a professional. All the other guys are lay people. And you've been there a long time. I'm sure you know about some policies now. But you know, we have professionals from the state. But once again, it's just not easy. And I applaud you for what you do, but you can do a lot more. And just remember who it is that you represent. You ran, and everybody knows that to serve the interests of the public school students. Now, we have roughly 5,000 kids, Ms. Winters?
6,000.
6,000? We have roughly 6,000 kids in our district. And I don't know of any at all if one's an Orthodox kid or not. But I do know this, that they also deserve education, transportation, just like every other kid.
Right.
But your jobs are to support public school districts first and do the other things that you need to do, stuff that comes under Title I, the busing and all those things, so that all of our children will be educated. Because let me tell you, education is your last best hope. If you don't have it, you are out there with a leg to stand on. So, and I know you're looking at your watch, but did I not hear you guys say that you're going to combine the two sections? I wasn't very good at math, but 3 and 3, ain't that like 6 foot?
Yeah.
So I should be able to go on a little more, right?
Yeah.
But I won't, I'm not the right, I won't do that. but you guys understand. And you know, we have commitment as, and look, I don't have a chick dog child in this school district anymore. But I come out here like Mr. Hodge and Carl Fink and Mike Rush and Tracy still has a young person here. But there's a lot of parents out there too.
That's right.
That are concerned about the education of their children.
Thank you.
So we want to make sure that you do what you need to do. And one last thing, I don't know who it is, but maybe Ms. Winters, how are we doing with the
Referendum.
yeah, the referendum, you know, how do you know what it is? Because I know you.
On the agenda tonight, we're awarding the roof contracts, and they're going to start, have everything done by the summer. March 31st.
Okay, that's good.
March 31st, the bids are coming in for the HVACs for the high school and Oak Street School.
So next year, we won't have to talk about this anymore at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Mr. Baldwin. Are you still Mr. Fink?
Yes, I am. Thank you. First, I would like to say, personally and professionally, anyone who's late, and I understand what you said, Isaac, about not being on the website, should not be even thought of to the board. The position was open, you know, it was in the papers. The school board should live with that. Anybody who's late, including myself, shouldn't even be thought of. Again, I would really like to see this board come together on Tracy Tiff's behalf. There might be some personality issues and so forth, but as a professional, someone who cares about the children of Lakewood, Tracy Tiff should be called, my personal opinion. Second, the stability in Lakewood on the board and the administration. For the first time in many years, the children, the teachers, the principals have stability. What I would like to see the board react to tonight is to extend Laura Winter's contract another 3 years. She has 2 years remaining on the contract. I think the gentleman should step up to the plate, do what's right for Lakewood, and extend the contract 3 more years. Stability, as we all know, is everything in life. Lastly, I would just like to say I know how difficult it is, and you know, last year, when there was a different president that was always on his case, I would like to publicly apologize to Mrs. Lockett. And lastly, I don't see the board president's name. Is she not here tonight, or did she disappear?
She is no longer board member.
For what reason, please?
What?
I don't understand it, but,
The attorney addressed that.
okay, can you speak loud, please?
It is a matter of public record. We've received a notification from the Department of Education that a criminal background check was not completed in time. However, my understanding is it has since been completed, so that's going to be explored with the department. But at this point in time, the department has indicated that Ms. Gonzalez is not eligible to serve as a board member. So for the time being, we are operating without her as a board member. Even though they clarified.
She's been on the board since last October, correct?
That's correct.
And the attorney didn't know this?
Attorneys don't review that. That's not a matter for the attorney to review.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Mr. Let's go with Karen. Sorry. Bill Hopkins, sorry, you're next. Sorry about that.
Good evening, members of the board, professionals. Bill Hopkins, school counseling. I too strongly support Mr. Tracy Tiff. I think that there was somewhat of difficulty the last time that Mr. Tiff put his application in. The board wanted more information because there was an ongoing scenario in the newspaper. Mr. Tiff has one of those kinds of jobs that if you do your job, you're probably going to run into a controversy from here in the beginning. They were completely vindicated for this, and I can't tell you the hard work and dedication that this man puts into Lakewood, his participation in Lakewood School District. What a board member he was, and what a board member he will be again. Now, Mr. Zara, again, you're smiling. I always like to see you smile because when you frown, that makes me nervous. So keep doing the great job you're doing. Thank you for being here. You're needed, and I think that things are steadily improving under your tutelage. Not to say that Mrs. Winters is the head of this district, but it's always good to have somebody to go to on issues. I saw a restoration of pride tonight. It is good that you recognize and honor those teachers, principals that go the extra mile. Because in this world today, some people say, well, they did their job. Well, there's measures of how you can do your job. But when that person goes the extra mile and does the best thing always, and really is a dedicated resource to the district, those students will remember that the rest of their lives. You always remember that teacher that helped you, that went the extra mile for you, that did all the things that were necessary for you to get it. The light bulb went on. You understand now, and you owe that to teachers. So, without any further commentary, please keep in mind Mr. Tracy Tiff. He's the very best. He deserves this position. He was a great board member, and he'll be a great board member. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up, Karen Hensel.
Good evening, I'm Karen Hatzel. I'm a teacher at Allergy Clark School, and I am the chairperson of the Pride Committee. I just wanted to thank Mrs. Winters for allowing us to have Read Across America. It was a huge success, and I am so proud that I was able to pull it together with the help of my committee. I have a lot of people here still in the audience. Mrs. Winters, thank you so much. You took the time to read in every building on a Friday, and I know that's very difficult with all the traffic. So I commend you for reading in every school. Reading in 6 schools is a challenge. Ms. Tovia is back there. She also read in our buildings. Mr. Schroeder is still here. He read in his building for us. Ms. Miriam Medina read for us. And did I have anybody over here? Oh, Mr. Stillwell. Mr. Stillwell read for me. He went out to the annex. So thank you so much for reading. I've already spoken to people about next year. We just had so many people that were delighted to come into the building. They said nothing but positive things about our students. I was so pleased to hear how well behaved our students were, how polite, how charming they were. They read with the readers. They really knocked their socks off, and I was just so pleased with that. So we have some things in place already for next year. We had people from the community come in. We had superintendents, past superintendents, obviously supervisors. We had principals, we had vice principals, we had teachers, we had retired teachers. We had firemen come into our schools. We had police officers come into our schools. We had township committee members come into our schools. We had mayors of Bricktown come into our schools. I was just so pleased. We had, I believe it was 140 readers come in, and my goal is to get 200 readers next year and expand it to all grades. So that is my goal, and I'm hoping that I could also, and I'm asking now, we had a lot of our high school students and our middle school students come in. They went out to Penny Moses building, and they read out there, and they were so delighted. I really would like to ask those students if they could come to our luncheon. That's a thing that we do. We provide a luncheon for all the readers. We had it at Eagle Ridge, so lunch is supplied for them. I really would like to do that for our students. I think they would really enjoy that, but of course, I will need a bus to get them there. So I am certainly going to put that in my proposal, which Pride would probably pay for, but obviously I would need permission to do that. So I'm going to.
Pride is paying for it, as long as someone else is paying for it, you have to pay for it.
Well, I hope I would need your permission because you're the boss. So I'm throwing it out there now because
That's
that's
my
my permission.
permission if someone else is paying for it. Pride is paying for it, Rag is paying for it, anybody else is paying for it, you have my permission.
Super, and
You did
I.
a great job, Mrs. Hessel.
Thank you so much. I'm sure the people that are sitting very close to me can see my gray hair, because I did get quite a few gray hairs over these things. But it really was a great challenge. It was wonderful. Things went smoothly. And like I said, the greatest part about this was people coming in and saying, I had no idea what your school was like. Your school is phenomenal, Karen. The kids are great, the staff is wonderful, it's positive. I love the bulletin boards, I love the displays, I read the work on the wall. I really don't think people know what goes on in our schools. And that's sad, because we do work hard. These teachers that stood up here tonight, they're wonderful, they're amazing. They do a great job, and they deserve all the accolades they can get. So I'm trying to expand it for next year. I'm inviting all of our board members. I hope that next year when I send you the invitation again, I hope you can slot it in there. I'm not sure when part will be next year. We had to do Read Across America on March 27th. We were not allowed to do it, obviously, because of part testing. But I can tell you that it will probably, Read Across America is always March 2nd. It will probably be around testing time again. So save the date, and hopefully you can come into the buildings and see what's happening in our schools, because great things are happening. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming up. It's nice to hear some positive feedback from the mic once in a while. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up is Alejandro Morales. Are you still here?
that too, I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alejandra Morales. I'm living in Lakewood. I have one question. Why you leave my name in the last in the list? Why you call me in the last?
Your name is last on the list.
Yeah, who had the list? Why you call me in the last? My name. Why my name is in the last in the list?
That's the way we got it, I'm not sure.
Can you show me? My name is the last. I don't put it the last. I put my name go next to one people to her name.
I'm sorry, your name was last, I just.
Okay,
voted on
don't
it.
answer the question. I wanted to come to sing. I wanted to come to talk everyone start to play. Okay? The 92% in the public of the school is Spanish Latino. I need in the board Latino members. Okay? Don't answer this other question. But tonight, the very important night, because every principal to each one public of the school came here. So where are you, Mrs. Gonzalez? This is the third meeting she made it to the president. So where are she? So why do you think the problem go to person? Every one meeting just talk and talk and talk. Please, Mrs. Winter, stop to play the rest to the member. And it's very important. No, my big problem is because I don't speak in very good English, but I see the problem. And nobody wanted to call exactly the right name, what happened right here in the public school. But me, I see. Okay? You can take a decision for the public school because tell me where are you going your son? Clark, Clifton, high school, middle school? Me can go to your school and take a decision because my son is not there. So I don't care what happened in the private school. And don't say, you don't get, don't show me, you don't get, because that is the truth. Why nobody talking about nothing to the case with Mr. Thief happened long time ago? Why nobody to say nothing? Why now? Who looking for this record? Who looking for this record? When some new member to came for the board, they doing the same procedures? I don't think so. I wanted to show you my 100% support to Mr. T. Because Mr. T worked so hard in the public of the school. You don't want to take it to Mr. T? That's fine. Take it, Dr. Rush. But 100% absolutely, everybody, kids need to help in the public of the school. I need to Latino, Spanish member in the board. And stop to play, please, again. And I'm sorry because I understand my English is not really good. But I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. And I wanted to say the right name to the things happen in the school.
Thank you very much. That concludes the motion for next meeting.
We have a motion to close the public session.
Motion.
Mr. President?
Second.
Second.
Mr. President, may I just ask one quick question? It's about, can you take a second, please? I asked Mr. President.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can ask a question, and that's it.
Okay, the question is, I understand that we are at a deadline, and we have to have at least one member by tonight, right? Or it goes to the county superintendent?
Correct.
So I am right. Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have corrections to the agenda on page 21. Item number 3.
I think he's going to the bathroom, so we have to wait.
Take a recess.
We just wait.